We're gonna get out of that. Hopefully we're live. All right, we are live. We're live. We're good. All right, so we're getting some news. Getting some news for Minnesota. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison facing a non-Jair Alexander defense. So that is a quite a hit. Still waiting to see all the injury updates. CJ Mosley. So it looks like that's it. Looks like we got everything covered injury-wise for players, but Jair out boosts Minnesota's guys. Quarterbacks. So CJ Stroud is probably the most expensive guy I want to get to at $7K. I think you could double stack him with. You can double stack him with both receivers. You can stack him with Collins. You could go and stack him with Diggs. I think it's very possible on this slate. Obviously, with that, you can't go Cam Akers, so you go Najee is pretty much a chalk guy today. And then you fill it out. Let's throw Brian Robinson in there. We're going to get a defense. Let's go with hell. Let's throw Tampa in there just for the hell of it. Throw Tampa in there. 4,900. We don't have a lot. I don't really love doing this, but we're going to put Dallas Goedert in there. Go to our flex. 4,800. There's obviously some guys we can get to. Greg Dortch. 5,400. Not really there. We would like Deontay Johnson at 5,600 for this build, so we just switch off Tampa defense and just go. I don't think we can. We stay Tampa. Get rid of Brian Robinson. Throw Jerome Ford in there. And now we can get to any of these guys. We can get to Pittman. We can get to Pickens and then Deontay Johnson. So, obviously, not the greatest, and we don't have a Jacksonville run back, but I don't really want to. But getting the cash plays in Deontay Johnson, Najee Harris, Dallas Goedert, Greg Dortch, and then getting different with a stack of CJ Stroud, Nico, and Stephon Diggs against Jacksonville. So, there's one. Obviously, Jordan Love, you're getting at a discount. 6,400 to start the season, 6K this week. So that's playable as well. You get Justin Fields down here, which I think you could do a nice Justin Fields stack, honestly. You go Pickens, Fields. So many ways to go with this because it's cheap. So running back, let's go Jordan Mason. And then we could throw Brian Robinson in this one. Defense, obviously, we're gonna pay down. For this one, we'll go Texans. Just throw it in there. Let's get Jaden Reed in this one. We're going to pay low on a tight end because I want to stack something up. So let's go Strange. Leaves us 6,900. And then we could go Nico Collins. And we're left with 6,700. And that gives us DJ Moore. So that's not a bad one either. Getting a lot of difference in this one. Obviously, Collins is cash. Mason is cash. But other than that, like Fields is not high owned. You stack him with Pickens in this one. You got to remember, Indy's secondary is very bad right now. They're down 2 corners. One of them is permanently this season. The other one, Moore is out. DeForest Buckner's out. Pay's out. Their offensive line is banged up. So I like Pickens and Fields, and this is not having Najee, so I'm getting the other side of the Pittsburgh offense. Getting Jaden Reed in a really good matchup against Minnesota. And then getting, Nico Collins in his favorable matchup with no Tank Dell. And then I personally like DJ Moore this week. I think DJ Moore's in a really good spot. And then Brendan Strange for value. And then majority of people are going to play, I'm going to assume, is you're either going to put Kyler Murray in at 6,800 or you're going to put Jaden Daniels in at 6,500. So $300 difference there. I'm on Kyler personally. I can make the case for Jaden Daniels, but I think Arizona's offense has the favor for me. So in this one, we can go cheap. Like, we can go Cam Akers. We could go Najee. We go to our defense. We get a cheap defense. Not Jacksonville, obviously. We'll go back to Tampa. I could stack Harrison in this one. I'm going to want someone like Deontay Johnson. We have 55 left over. Still need a tight end, and we can get kind of creative with it. So we could go Dallas Goedert, and that leaves us 57. So we go... Like, we could pay up for somebody. So I want to get exposure. So if we go Nico, what are we left with? We're left with 4,200 in a flex. And let's see what we could build out of that. So you could double stack. Technically, you could double stack Kyler. Still don't have a run back. Like, I don't want to trust Washington as a run back right now. I know that Terry McLaurin had a really, really good second half, but other than that, it's been pretty shaky, their connection. Obviously, it's a really good matchup with them, but I think it's shaky nonetheless. Overall. But like, so there's that one. We can go to... Here's one that I personally like. I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm going to put Caleb Williams. I'm going to go to his wide receivers. I'm going to get Keenan Allen. And I'm going to get DJ Moore. And I'm going to stack that. And then for a run back, because I can run back on this pretty easy, we get Kobe Parkinson. We run that. I'm going to pay for a defense. I'm going to go Chiefs. Still leaves us with some. Go Najee. That leaves us some. We'll go Aaron Jones on this one. Will be different than what we've had so far. We could still get Deontay Johnson. And then 6,700, we can get someone, either Jordan Mason or we can get Steph Diggs. So I'm going to go Stephon Diggs. So kind of like that one. That's a bear stack for today. Targets, Najee against Indy's defensive line. Aaron Jones in a revenge game against Green Bay. The Bears stack getting the cash play Deontay Johnson. I think like not playing Deontay Johnson, thinking about it more and more is just dangerous. He's just cheap. Cincinnati's kind of gotten beat the last 2 weeks in the passing game. Adam Thielen's out, so even if Deontay Johnson doesn't have a great game, he's still really cheap. 14 targets with Andy Dalton last week, so kind of like that. And then like you can one off, right? So let's one off. So let's not stack Fields. I'm just gonna attack the wide receiver right now. Like Rashee Rice is a play, Nico Collins is a play. People like Chris Godwin's in another good spot. So we'll stack that. So we're overly stacking wide receiver. We're gonna go very cheap on running back. We're gonna stick to the two. We're gonna go Cam Akers, and we're gonna go Najee Harris, and then we're gonna build off of that, right? So that allows us to get some leeway. We're gonna get a cheap defense in here. Keep going to the Buccaneers. We'll play them. And then we go cheap on tight end. So let's go someone like Mike Gesicki against Carolina. And we're left with 6,100. And then we have options, right? Brian Robinson Jr. is an option. Keenan Allen's an option. Jaden Reed's an option. So we'll plug Jaden Reed in there. And like that's an option, right? If you want to stack the cash wide receivers of Godwin, Collins, Rice, you're also stacking Najee, which is another one. There's just a lot of cash, but you're getting difference with Justin Fields, Mike Gesicki, Jaden Reed. It's kind of what you want to do, right? You want to build lineups off of where other people are going to be playing. So that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, there's no more news as far as right now. I don't think we're going to get any more afternoon games. We only have 4 today. Cleveland, Vegas. People are on Brock Bowers and Trey Tucker. I would just be cautious with that. I think Cleveland's defense still has some upside. Kansas City, Chargers, you're looking at Justin Herbert being out. We already know Derwin James is suspended. Looking at the status of the tackles, I believe Joe Alt is out. I believe Slater is also ruled out as well. New England, San Fran, this one is Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams. I would watch that one. That one might be interesting for San Francisco, especially being in the late game. And then Arizona, Washington. So for the early games, I'm just really not interested in getting people in. Is New Orleans, Atlanta. It's a division game. It looks pretty ugly on paper. Cincinnati, Carolina, I'm okay with getting exposure on both sides. I like Chase. I like Higgins. I like Moss. I like Deontay Johnson on Carolina. The Rams, Chicago, just looking at Chicago players. Minnesota, Green Bay, I think is very playable now. You get Jordan Love in for Green Bay. Minnesota, you're getting Justin Jefferson against a very bad secondary. So I'm okay with exposure to both in that. Jacksonville, Houston, I'm pretty much looking at Houston. So I'm looking at CJ Stroud. I'm looking at Cam Akers. I'm looking at Diggs and Collins. Not really interested as of right now in Schultz. Or I think Xavier Hutchinson would probably be the next guy. Maybe Robert Woods, maybe Mechie, I'm not sure. Pittsburgh, Indy, on paper it sounds bad. But Pittsburgh missing a couple guys defensively. I think Indy's upside on offense is pretty good in this one. Indy very banged up, though, offensive line. And in defense, their defense is pretty banged up. So if you want to attack Pittsburgh's offense in this one, Najee, Fields, Pickens, I think for the prices, they're all cheap. Like, it is crazy how cheap this Pittsburgh offense is, right? So Fields, Harris, Pickens. That is crazy cheap. Obviously, you don't want to have all three, but it is very cheap for Pittsburgh offense. And then Denver Jets, you could go Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall is always going to be a really good play no matter who it's against. Not really interested on the Denver side. And then Philly, Tampa, Philly, obviously missing A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Lane Johnson's out for him. Tampa got a couple injuries defensively, I believe. But the advantages for the Tampa pass catchers, Evans and Godwin. Philly, you're kind of looking at Barkley and Goddard. Maybe Hurts, but his passing hasn't been good enough. So, yeah, it's where I'm kind of at. Like I said, if you guys are watching and you're not already in our Discord, the link for that should be in the description. If you guys are interested in checking out, you can get my player pool for this main slate. That's, I think, pretty much going to do it for me. It covered all the games I wanted to cover in this one. Hope you guys did enjoy. I hope you guys have a very good DFS day. I'm hoping the luck continues when we go 4-0 today. So just hoping guys stay healthy and plays go right. So we'll see you guys in the next one.